muthenya wa umuthi kuria bunge-ini ya gibũrũri gwitongorio ni speaker Moses Masika Wetangula ni kuma na vetting ya andu aria ma appointed to makorome CS leo ndo alikuwa na vetiwa pale, and among them was Mutahi KAGWE, former cabinet secretary in Uhuru's government. Mutahi KAGWE eguthia ko vetwo nigetha atuike CS wa agriculture, na haria akivetwo ni uma na kahinda kaito muno. He really had a hard time akigeria ku explain. Yeah, we are very graduate, Mauritius. We are very graduate. Akigeria ku explain scandal ya COVID-19 gwathire atia na besha gwathire atia besha icio more than 7 billion cannot be accounted for in the COVID-19 scandal and the corona yetagote scandal yo in that whole scandal. Oho bado ni oririo ciuria cia scam yo ya KEMSA na have vaccine etago zile vaccine za COVID, he vaccine imwe hende ria Ruto athecirwo vaccine iyo hwaini ucio okire na akiuga ati vaccine iyo ndiretekerio guthecwo andu Kenya. Na ikakuwa a very big debate pale hivyo watu wakiulizana if he is really worth it for that position. Another question tondu araigira gete-ini kia CS of agriculture ni oririo kiuria kigie vaccine ino the controversial vaccine iria irathi guthecwo ng'ombe na what have you. Na auga ati contrary to what the president is saying that all livestock need to be vaccinated, auga ati ndungi force mundu ng'ombe ciake cikorothi cigithecwo vaccine na dareda because that is not a property of the government. Thus going against what the president has been saying. Na oho bado ni ugete ati Flora Wajiro kohana ati oho ni ugete ati if any GMO, any fertilizer or any medicine for the livestock agikorwo ndirahuthirwo ni the country of origin, it will not be allowed to be used in Kenya. Now I think this is a very good start for Mutahi KAGWE akienda gutuka CS wa agriculture. Tondu ni ukoretwo na thina wa ta vaccine no ya livestock. It is not being used in the country of origin, but it is supposed to be used in Kenya, and the company that is giving us that vaccine irato ivira 80%. So there are a lot of questions. Koguo haria nerekia kuga ati agikaingira CS wa agriculture kana agave bugeo egi mwitikiria na imuhitukie every vaccine, GMO or fertilizer that is not being used in the country of origin will not be allowed to be used in Kenya, which is a very good thing. Ndiyo maoni makumegi uhoro ucio.
I just want to ask him what Honorable Junet has said. The Deputy President at that time and the President right now who has nominated you today is the one who took that jab is when you stopped the Sputnik. Is that true or not true?
Absolutely not true.
Point of order, Chair. Chair, when that, when we were, Chairman, when we were taking the vaccines,
yes,
there were many vaccines. There was AstraZeneca, there was this one and others.
Pfizer,
Johnson & Johnson. Chairman, we were in the country here. At that time, you know, people were really looking for vaccines to use.
Desperately.
The day the current president, who was then the deputy president, got a jab in the afternoon, in the evening, a press statement came out saying that thing is banned in our country. That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter.
Mr. Chairman, I cannot recall the events as they followed, if indeed that is the way they followed. But I repeat my position. We could only use a vaccine approved by the World Health Organization. Is it?
What Dawood has put to you is that you made an irrational decision based on political consideration.
But the point of the matter is this. The cow, as I said earlier, belongs to an individual. It doesn't belong to the government. The goat belongs to an individual, not to the government. So the matter is simple. Here is a vaccine. It is for foot and mouth disease. You have a goat. Do you want the goat to be vaccinated? You say, yes, I want to be vaccinated. We vaccinate. You say, no, I don't want my goat to be vaccinated. Sawa. Do you have a cow? Do you want the cow to be vaccinated? This is the reason why it is to be vaccinated. You say, yes, we vaccinate. You say, no, we don't vaccinate. Allah?
Thank you.
Yes. The second person in line was Kabogo. Kabogo nake ni agire na thina mwingi muno riria ekovetago haria tondu ni oririo ciuria very deep against drug peddling. Kabogo nĩ akoretwo na maũndũ maingĩ mũno marathi na mbere gwĩtuĩka atĩ nĩ akoragwo akĩhusika na maũndũ ma ndawa cia kũrebia, na ameweza kujibu pale hivyo akasema dawa ĩrĩa ahũthagĩra no Panadol na noyo enayo mũhuko, so amekana hiyo story big time. Oho hena scandal akoretwo nayo ya mũirĩtu kũrerĩkana akuĩrĩire moko-inĩ make kana nĩ ahucikire mũirĩtu ũcio nĩgetha akue, wĩtagwo Mercy Keino. Na oho nĩ augire atĩ mũtumia ũcio mũirĩtu ũcio ona korwo ndakuire arehwo mbere yake mũthenya ũcio ũngĩ ndangemjua, so amesema ati he didn't know that lady by any chance, so he is not involved in that murder and he really regrets that that murder is associated to him. Na oho bado nĩ augire atĩ net worth yake nĩ 3 billion Kenya shillings. Yes, Kabogo is worth 3 billion Kenya shillings. Ya Mutahi Kagwe ndikugite yake yuma 842 million. Ya Kabogo nĩyo ĩbunjire record ũmũthĩ tondũ 3.01 billion, that's 3000 million. Milioni ngiri ithatũ, hiyo ndio net worth ya Kabogo.
From the Honorable Junet, a question I have dealt with all my life since that fateful day when Professor Saitoti, the late, dropped names of MPs as suspected drug dealers. I want to say here on record, Mr. Speaker, I have never, ever dealt with drugs of any kind all my life. Mr. Speaker, this
not even Panadol?
Mr. Speaker, I do not imagine that Junet Mohammed was asking about Panadol. I have some in my pocket if it's just Panadol. But I know he's talking about hard.
You know what
he's talking about hard drugs, cocaine and the rest. And this is a very disturbing subject, Mr. Speaker. But I invite Kenyans also to have a look at the dossier that Mr. Saitoti brought to the House. It's a dossier such that, Mr. Speaker, if it was given to Inspector Mwala, it would not pass Mr. Mwala's table for a script. If, Mr. Speaker, at that point in time, and records speak here in this House, I fought vigorously the tabling of our names without a leave of the House, because the rules are such that if you are discussing the conduct of an MP, you need to move a substantive motion. But for that particular one, it went through smoothly as planned. But my point here, Mr. Speaker, the government or agencies, the police, did a thorough investigation, and they gave a temporary report a month later, which was tabled and is part of the records of this House, and they found that I was not culpable. I had never been involved in drug trafficking, and I had never been a driver of the Honorable Mao, as that dossier had said. I actually said, Mr. Speaker, on the floor of this House, that there is no need of anyone trying to do extradition proceedings to get me to travel to the US to answer these charges. I offered myself. They gave me a one-way visa, and I'll take myself to any part of the world to answer charges of drugs. It's never happened. So the authors of that dossier probably didn't get exactly what they wanted, but what they got is messing with people's names. And that is the situation it is today. Mr. Speaker, it has continued to happen. People talking about, you will find some of us are named Pablo, all those names. But the truth be told is that I did take some people to court. If you remember, there was a program by Standard called something Mihadarati by Mheshimiwa from Nyali. And I did take them to court. It's taken long, about 8 or 9 years. But finally, I got judgment against them, and I was paid a little bit of money. But circulation is still happening. this is something I am bound to live with for the rest of my life, but I do not do drugs. Thank you.
Nominee, this country's been battling with a lot of gender-based violence, femicide, and many others. And I want to take you to 2011. In 2011, a young university woman with a beautiful and promising life, Miss Mercy Keino, was found dead in unclear circumstances, just like many of them that we lose through femicide. And that was after being invited to a party where it is alleged you were the host. That tragic incident left so many Kenyans, so many questions in Kenyans' minds, and still remains in the memory of many Kenyans. Kindly expound on this and explain whether you are fit to hold office in light of these allegations. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the issue of 2011 of Mercy Keino, a very tragic story, Mr. Speaker. The honorable member has said it is alleged that I had invited people to a party. Mr. Speaker, that is not true. This is just a situation where you find yourself at a place at the wrong time. It was a public place, a restaurant, and there were several groups of people in that place, Mr. Speaker. And the issue of the death of Mercy Keino came to me 2 weeks after she had been buried. And even if I had met her the following day after that hotel or restaurant, I would never have noticed her. It is a sad story, and Kenyan life was lost, but I sincerely and truly had nothing to do with it.
There was not much of controversial questions with Lee Kenyanjui. None ugire net worth yake ni 471 million. Tuweterera tumenye kana andũ aya nĩmegũkorwo magĩtĩkĩrio makorwo magĩ-serve in the cabinet of the government of William Samoei Ruto. Aside from that, we hope that cabinet ĩyo nĩ ĩgũkorwo ĩ sawa.